Okay, are we ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to spend a few minutes just explaining that complexity isn't really that scary. It's really something nice to embrace. So that is a warm baguette straight out of the oven. A baguette bread. It's so fast. That is complex, right? But this, if I can get it up, is complicated. Curry, onion, green olive, poppy seed, cheese, bread is complicated. Now, why do you think those are different? What is the difference there?
The ingredients maybe?
The complex has less ingredients.
But does it, to make it what it is, does it have less ingredients?
I guess the differences are more subtle, right? So it's the subtlety of, so the baguette is complex because it's actually a fairly plain bread. But to appreciate the good baguette, you have to try to really get into the nuances.
It's well crafted, it's fresh, it smells, it's going to be soft, and it's going to be tactile, isn't it? It's going to have all those other things. Well, this is just kind of a mess of tons of different flavors all messed together.
Maybe you could, sorry,
Yeah.
just an example too, if you had, for instance, just a black cup of coffee, but like some nice beans of coffee, and then you have like the mocha with whipped cream on top,
Yes.
with soy milk and, you know,
And chocolate
and
sprinkles.
chocolate
on top of
sprinkles,
that.
yeah,
Yes.
and these complicated
Yes.
one versus the...
So with the complex one, everything is joining together. It's a system. It's a system that makes
Exactly
it
right.
delicious. Yeah.
Exactly right.
It's just perfect. It's all these things coming together to make it just right. The smell of it, it makes you want it. You know, it's touching on lots of different senses. Whereas this is just exactly like you were saying. It could be like the coffee that has cream and and it doesn't add to it. Right? Those things are just a nuisance in a way. They're just sort of more flavours that make it complicated.
Still looks
You have to
tasty.
know, because the complicated one, you can see, you see different things, and the bread, maybe you won't even appreciate it very complex until you try to make one.
There's a sense of unity in the complexity that you cannot really separate one element with the others. Well, I mean, cheese bread, you could eat cheese.
If I was picky, I could take all the little
Yeah.
onion bits off.
Yeah.
And would it make much difference? It would make it less complicated. It might taste a little bit different, but yeah. Exactly. So the things within the well-crafted, fresh out of the oven bread is that this is all integrated and it's greater than the sum of its single parts, isn't it?
It will be a mistake to just look at one part
Yes.
and ignore the others.
Right. Thank you. So complicated is about difficult, and complex is about networks, and not necessarily difficult. So, wouldn't it be nice if things weren't complex? I will go to the party, some of you have seen this before. I will meet the man and woman of my dreams. She will propose. We will marry on August the 1st. Done. So this is... We will have 3 children. So Pandu, does that work in reality?
Step one.
So that's the linear progression, isn't it? That's that, you know. But actually, it doesn't work like that. It's all about complexity, isn't it? Oh, forgot that. So why don't people like complexity? Why did you wince? Why did you feel tired and so on? Well, people don't like complexity because it's inconvenient to wish it away. It would be much easier if it was just as simple as that, wouldn't it? Except you're too young, but it would be simple. Right. And it's sort of messy. It's also reductionist. It simplifies. It makes it much more manageable if it is not complex. You know, you can have a linear logic, if that's going to happen. So I can manage that, but you can't, right? But people think they can. It's much easier to make decisions and plans with a straightforward cause-effect logic, right? So they like that. That's the days of writing project plans that were, you know, all we have to do is just do that, and then that will happen, and that will happen. But that's not real life, is it? And people like prediction and they like control. So that's why people feel uncomfortable with complexity. And complexity, therefore, is messy, but does it also make it more interesting? So, a picture like that, whether you like it or not, what some people would say is complex. But if you start to tidy it up, oh yeah, I know the it's a Dutch book, actually.
This book is awesome.
It's fabulous.
It's so
it's
good.
a fabulous book.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's tidying up art, and this is just one example. But there's all sorts of examples from this book. I like this one particular because now it's all tidied up, which is the way people like to do log frames and evaluation frameworks and so on. But it's not the same thing anymore.
Can you go back to the previous one just so that we can see it again?
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So that is something that you might not like that, so I don't know. But it's a piece of art and it's a system, isn't it? It all comes together and it looks right and it feels right and so on.
It also looks like abstract painting.
Okay, what I would like everybody to do is to take the end of one rope.
One person, one rope.
No, yeah, one person, one rope, so you can...
One person, one rope. One rope or one end?
One end. One end. One person, one end. Okay, now go and find the other end of another rope, right? Across anybody. You can just take anybody's other end of another rope. Has everybody got a rope in each hand? Pull back so that the ropes are all
Like a one ring or one ring.
ready. Go for the back. So what we've got is a complexity diagram. Right.
You only
Now,
get one.
what I'm going to do, keep holding it tight.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to make an intervention.
Oh.
Oh my God! Are you still holding the other end? Yeah. Okay. What happened? What happened? What happened to your rope?
No, I'm held
It
in
moved.
his hand.
It moved. Right. Exactly.
Program
Let's see if we can
failed.
make another intervention. Let's pull this one. What's happening?
So actually both my ropes are moving.
Right.
She's right
Exactly. Exactly. Now let's take another one. Let's take.
Program failed for us.
Right. Another intervention. What's happening? What's happening?
Kira's moving.
You're getting started.
Don't go to the control room.
All right, you can. That's it. But the point is that what?
Everyone's affected.
Yeah. But some things can affect more than others.
Like the control. Once I was affected,
Yeah.
I put a lot of people with me.
Very important person.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, but this is exactly, you know, if you have an intervention, just expect a single linear logic. You wouldn't have got all those people getting all muddled up and all confused and feeling uncomfortable and tense. So this is the whole point. You change one thing and everything else in the system changes. Yeah. And that's all that complexity is. So RCA very much supports complexity thinking, even when it makes you tired, but it shouldn't make you tired. It's the idea of being exploratory. We don't know. Explore, imagine. Just think about the problems we had with the Ethiopia example. We didn't know what was, there was lots of stuff written in the literature. There was lots of what we thought was understanding, but actually we didn't really know. So we were exploring, rather than confirmatory predict control measures. So these are the contrasts of where we lie. Is we don't know. We have open heads. We're blank sometimes because we want to find out, want to explore. Complexity theory can allow grounded theory to emerge. I don't know, many of you in the room know what that is? Do you? Or am I now talking grounded theory? So the idea is that instead of going into a project with a theory or into an evaluation with a ready-made theory, the theory emerges from the findings. It's the opposite way around. So in a way, you can say the Koshy Hills example was a lot of information from the multi-generational households, and from that, then we developed a theory. That's a grounded theory. It happened to be a theory of change, but it's a grounded theory. So, so we look back at the cause and effect, not imagining or normatively assuming a cause and effect relationship. And all those examples from Ethiopia assumptions were all the opposite way around. It allows us to look at multiple perspectives and the importance of multiple perspectives. And it's big picture stuff. It's not a narrow lens. So if we think about our human example out there, you could look at a part of a project which was just a little bit of that. Maybe it was Riz connected with Pandu connected with Iqbal or whatever, right? And that could be your project. But we now, now we see the bigger picture. We say it's not good enough just to look at that. Because if you change something there, you're going to change something somewhere else. And some of those are going to be unintended consequences. They might be positive unintended consequences, things that then help that program, or they may be things that are detrimental to the program. But either way, what we need to be able to do is to zoom out and see those connections. So it's a systems as a whole, it's the warm baguette, not the mishmash of the cheese, onion, whatever it was, chili, pepper, thing, right? It's a whole. It's not the individual parts that matter, and it is a very different way of thinking. It also recognises that it's diverse and it's constantly changing. So I asked you to pull out, put tension on it, but if the rain had come, you would have put tension in a different way. So it's those kind of things. If something changes, the whole thing can be in motion in relation to itself. So it helps in development by helping people to look forward, imagine improvement, and share anticipation and aspirations. It allows people to be more adaptive because it can collectively look backwards, what happened, what were the responses to change, and it allows us to be more exploratory, helps identify things to try out, design safe-to-fail experiments, etc. And it's this antidote to the reductionist, one-size-fits-all generalization model that does not fit with the leave no one behind rhetoric that is now coming out from the SDGs.